Hey, in this video, I'm going to show you how to solve equations when it comes to algebra, but not just any type of equation. I'm going to show you how to solve multi-step equations. What do I mean by multi-step equations? Well, multi means many. So where it takes you to solve the value, it takes more than one step in order to solve the value. So in previous videos, I've shown you how to solve for the variable in one step, whether it's with addition, subtraction, division, or multiplication. In this video, I'm going to show you how to solve equations that require more than one step. So let's get started. So our first equation we have is 7m minus 17 equals 60. So the first thing I said we always want to do is write our problem down so we can connect with it, even if it's already written down for you. So now we have 7m minus 17 equals 60. So when it comes to multi-step equations, remember, we always want to get the variable by itself because we're solving for it. So we want our equation to eventually look like the variable equals, m equals. That's what we want it to look like. So we start taking things away from that variable, pushing it over to the other side so we can get the m equals sign, if that makes sense from a visual standpoint. So when solving this equation, we see that 7 is multiplied by m, and then we have minus 17 on this side. So usually what you do when it comes to solving multi-step equations is anything that's attached to the variable, you want to try and deal with that last. Everything that's away from the variable, you deal with that first. So for instance, 7 times m, that's attached to the m. The 7 is attached to the m. So we don't want to deal with that just yet. We want to work our way outside and in. So now we have a negative 17 on this side. So that's what we want to get rid of first. So the first thing we're going to do is say minus 17. So how do we get rid of it? We want to add 17 on both sides. So now when we add 17 on both sides, we're left on the left side with 7m. Then you have minus 17 plus 17 is 0. So 7m plus 0 equals 60 plus 17, which is 77. So essentially what you have left is 7m. 7m plus 0 is just 7m equals 77. Now you're back to a one-step equation at this point. So the 7 is multiplied by the m. In order to get rid of it, we're going to perform an opposite operation. So we're going to divide both sides by 7. When we divide both sides by 7, the 7's cancel out on the left side. 7 divided by 7 is 1. So we have 1m equals 77 divided by 7, which is 11, or m equals 11. So I hope that helps. Let's go ahead and do the next problem. So now we have 2a minus 6 equals 4. Remember, we want to get the variable by itself. We want it to look like a equals. So we want to pull everything away from the a. We want to start from the outside, work our way in. So we see that the 2 is attached to the a, so we don't want to deal with that just yet. But there's a minus 6 that's away from it. So in order to get rid of the minus 6, we're going to add 6 to both sides. So we have 2a minus 6 plus 6, and then 4 plus 6. So on the left side, we're just left with 2a. Minus 6 plus 6 is 0, so 2a plus 0 equals 4 plus 6, which is 10. 2a plus 0 is just 2a, and then we have equals 10. I usually throw this extra step in so you can visually see what's going on. Sometimes, a lot of people will skip these little bitty steps, but I want to show you every little step so that you understand what's happening. So now we have 2a equals 10. So now we have 2 times the a. We want to get rid of this 2, so we're going to divide both sides by 2. The 2's cancel out on the left. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so you have 1a. And then 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 1a equals 5, or a equals 5. There you go. All right. Hope this helps. Hope this is making sense so far. Let's move on with a little bit more difficulty. we're going to have our next problem, which is p minus 15 over 9 equals -6. So again, don't get intimidated by this. I know it looks like a lot, but we're going to just break it down step by step. Remember, we want our equation to say p equals. So in this instance, this minus 15 is attached to the p. And so we'll save that for last, but then it's divided by a 9. So how do we get rid of this 9? We want to multiply both sides by 9. So we have 9 times p minus 15 over 9 equals 9 times -6. So when we multiply this left side by 9, the 9's cancel. 9 over 9 is 1. So now you're just left with p minus 15 equals 9 times -6, which is -54. So again, now we're back to a one-step equation. And so we just have p minus 15. We want to get p by itself. So we just add 15 to both sides. We have p minus 15 plus 15 equals -54 plus 15. So the 15's cancel on the left side. We have p equals -54 plus 15. The negative is the bigger number, so you know that your number is going to stay negative when adding. It's actually subtracting. So 54 minus 15, that's going to give you 39. So minus 39. So p equals -39. So I hope this is making sense. We have one more that we're going to do, and that is 2/3 p minus 25 equals 115. So again, anything that's attached to the variable, we want to save that for last. So this minus 25 is hanging out on the end. So we're going to add 25 on both sides. Do that first. So we're left with 2/3 p equals 115 plus 25. That's going to be 140. So now, here we are dealing with fractions. So this 2/3 p, 2/3 times p equals 140. So here's a little tricky part. And it's tricky visually, but I'll show you how it works. So in order to get rid of this 2/3, normally we would say, okay, this is multiplied by the p, so we do the opposite, and we just divide both sides by 2/3. So this looks a little weird, 2/3 divided by 2/3. But what's really going on when you see this type of division, that 2/3 divided by 2/3, that's actually the same as 2/3 times the reciprocal of what's on the denominator, which is the bottom, which is 3/2. So basically 2/3 divided by 2/3 is actually taking the 2/3 and multiplying by the reciprocal of the denominator, which is a 2/3, which is now 3/2. The 3's cancel and the 2's cancel, so you have 1. So instead of me saying, oh, this is 2/3 times p, we're going to divide both sides by 2/3. We're essentially doing that. However, instead of doing this where it looks a little weird and confusing, you can just multiply by the reciprocal of the number, 2/3. The reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2, which will cancel it out. And then you can multiply both sides by that in order to solve for p. So that's what we're going to do. So I'll take my little eraser here. Hope this makes sense. The equivalent of dividing both sides by 2/3 is just multiplying by the reciprocal. So we'll take the reciprocal of 2/3, which is 3/2, and then multiply that by 2/3 p. And then we have 3/2 times 140 on this side. Because remember, whatever you do on the left side, you have to do on the right side. So now these cancel. 3 over 3 is 1. 2 over 2 is 1. Or if we wrote it out, it would be 3 times 2 is 6 over 2 times 3, which is 6, which is 1. So you're left with your P equals your 3/2 times your 140. So the way you can solve this, there's multiple ways you can solve it. You can reduce it and say 2 goes into 2 one time, 2 goes into 140 70 times. 70 times 3 is 210 over 1. Or you could have done it the long way and just said 3/2 times 140. So 3 times 140 will give you 420 over 2. And then you say 2 will go into 420. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 goes into 2 one time. And so that's how you would get your 210. So now we have P equals 210. So that was a little complicated, but I hope that helps. And hopefully these will help you as far as building blocks to solving equations. In the prior videos, I helped you solve equations by one step. Now we're adding steps. So these are multi-step equations. So I hope this helps. I hope that you can pass this along to someone else who may need help in math. If this helps you, pass it along, please like or share, and we will see you in the next video.